Subhuman. 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 Now you save them all, planning your fall. Subhuman. Always in the square, planning despair. They hate you. You don't belong here. Now they're all around. They frown when they see you. Now they've found a way to make you pay. They own you. When they see you laughing, they tell you bad news. They're so unimpressed. You don't belong here. They once told me all the secrets of the deep blue sea. That all I had to do was look ahead, see behind. Look what they do to their own kind. See the stars, the way to Mars. They are there frowning down on you. They are all around you, plotting the end of us, planning that one day we'll be Greetings in the name of the Most High. Well, I did succumb to what happened in our very positive festival at Horror Hound in Cincinnati. And I noticed there are people coughing, you know what I mean? No, I have to go into this because it's why I'm wearing these dark glasses. They're because they're blue. They're very soothing for my headache. And let's just hope the Holy Spirit will use me for something today. Because I know a lot of you, and me too, need some comfort right now. Especially with the world being so evil and so mean and so murderous and so lawless, and to have, you know, like the president unable to arrest people. They don't want to tell you this, but the government is really not the government. We don't have a government. We have factions of strongholds and powerhouses that run things, and they can't attack each other necessarily because they all have access to armies, media, whatever. The media is, of course, criminal, and I would fire every one of them. I would get rid of all the legacy media and the whole bit if I were Trump. And because all they do is basically they're just they continue the lying of the DNC, which is just all day long, and then they accuse Trump of lying, or whatever they're into. They accuse the other guy of doing it. So it's definitely just a rigged game, and there's no peace. There's no one. I don't know anyone who has peace despite. I know people that say they're at peace, but I don't know anyone that actually has peace during this time. And they say, "Oh, I'm at peace." I'm out there on the beach and watching the seagulls go by and riding some waves, and life is good. But life is not good, and the guy on the beach is just basically living in the fool's paradise. So, because at some point, this reckoning of it's like the Little Feat song, "Two Trains Running," and both trains are headed for each other, and it's going to be a disaster on all sides. And as we know, war is hell. I mean, you just saw the oh god, yeah. No, I've been struggling with this all week. This cold flu, whatever you want to call it. It's really, and like I said at the convention, at the festival, I noticed that there were a lot of people coughing everywhere. And I hoped I guess I'm more vulnerable than others. And I feel like I'm beginning to kind of come out of it now, but I felt strong last night, and then today, no. So it's been kind of a on and off, battle. And we just hope it doesn't go too far, to where I'm in trouble. I guess that's everybody's hope. But yeah, so there's no peace, and there's no, we start to see the futility in the programming of being, born, being put in school, being trained to get a job, contributing in that job to your family's well-being. And first of all, nobody said you had to buy into education, which is anything but. It's programming. Nobody said you had to have families and and make these choices for work, where you basically work your whole life for retirement when you're sick. And so you by the time you get the benefits, you really can't use them. You're putting all your money into medical issues because they make you sick. The schedule makes you sick. The choices make you sick. Education has got to make you sick if you're sensitive, being exposed to. I mean, I was exposed to the same thing, like English 101. All we talked about was rich white men coming from Europe to ruin the Indians. Every story was somehow about that. So it's been ongoing. These people are not satisfied with anything. They're earth dwellers. They're not spiritual people. They're not going to go in the spirit to wherever. They're God haters. They're spirit haters. They killed Jesus. They killed Charlie Kirk, and they start celebrating. Well, I don't even know what these are. I certainly cannot count them as human anymore at all. They're just the enemy that you need to I guess until the war breaks out, we just act polite. And then when it breaks out, I guess we shoot them, you know, and they shoot us, and they don't care if they shoot us, they laugh. We shoot them, I suppose we'll laugh too. It'll be just one big shoot 'em up and laughter and kill everything and laugh at everything and make sure you hurt all the children. Great job. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. And you know, so it's not a matter of opportunity, it's a matter of this form, this structure of life, of birth, education, workforce, retirement, death, that they put on everyone. And it's like, what other possible you know, patterns or configurations could there be? Maybe there could be other alternatives to that kind of thing. And when people are free now, they buy a van and convert it. They travel around the country. And a lot of times you see these vans in motel parking lots. They give up for a couple of days. You know, the romance of being free on the road ends. You know, they're doing a TikTok account where they're making enough money for gasoline and food and so forth, because people watch them, wondering if they can get free, wondering if they can undo the programming. Well, what does the programming do? It makes people depressed. People are sad. People are depressed. People are miserable around the world, and there's no reason for it except for the wealthy controllers that foist this unhappiness on us all. And when you try to tell the communists, hey, it's basically you're living out George Soros's dream, they don't listen. They don't want to listen to that. It's, I want fairness. I want, you know, my social income for my being a good boy out there and, you know, getting my income every, you know, without having to, I don't want to work. Well, the whole thing about work and the whole structure of getting degrees. I think if there was one thing Charlie Kirk, how he pissed them off royally, was saying you don't need an education because education sucks. And that was, you know, never truer words were said. You don't need education. People with degrees don't usually they're worse workers than anybody else. So it sucks. You know, the whole social structure of you know, I mean, a lot of the programming goes to places like Disney and the entertainment field. You know, how you, and then you know, you get your job and then you fall in love and you introduce your girl to the parents and everybody's happy. And then you have your marriage and your celebration and your wedding dress and or you rebel and do the alternative. You show up in punk clothing and do your wedding thing and say fuck Jesus and all that stuff. And then you go that way and smear blood all over yourselves while you're at it to make it really good. And then basically just affirm the first programming. So the latter affirms the primary. All confirms the whole thing. Everybody is in compliance. The rebel is 100% conformed, and the do-gooder or whatever with the conformer is 100% conformed. All are under mind control. All are equally conformed. I don't know what alternative there could be, but this is what they chose for us. These are the structures in society that were chosen. You know, I was doing a lot of thought about, you know, why people are so miserable and why social media makes people depressed. Like 30% of people on social media get depressed because of the algorithms. 30%. That's a big toll. I mean, if you're just a ruthless owner and you want people to get educated and work, in other words, learn how to comply, education, and then work, comply with all what I tell you to do, which is coming from people at the top. You can have God and Jesus and religion and all that as long as you keep it at the church that I have approved of for you. And so it invalidates all families, invalidates America and all countries, invalidates the entire joke of Earth. Fuck it, invalidates it. It's all a sham designed to make people miserable, and that's all it does. In the end, right now, people, have their hobbies, right? And they they get excited about that, whether it's football or I don't know what it is. Like I've had my endeavors have been all things people do are hobbies. All careers people have are hobbies. The guy sailing to Hawaii is a hobby. I don't care how much money he makes, it's a hobby. Okay? It's all a hobby. It's one big hobby. It's one big hobby fest. Hold on a second. There you go. So what I've concluded is the entire thing is a sham because it's all thought up by men to foist on other men. People say, well, we have a Judeo-Christian culture. No, we don't. I don't see anything based on the Bible, really. I guess some basic laws, some basic morals, maybe. But in terms of the structures of society, sociological structures of how to live as a society and what the expectations are of people in society, it all sucks. That's not from God. Do what your parents want you to do. Do what your new parents, the state, wants you to do. Do what you're told. Do what other people are doing. See and then do yourself. Conform even if it's ugly and you have to, accept a shit sandwich. Get it out of the way, get it over with, and get back to conforming and be a happy idiot. Working for money, which is also a joke. So now we've now we've kind of dispensed with all that. Okay. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. And when I see it that way, and I see the futility of it, and I see people, toiling in this life, for nothing, it makes me angry. I don't see a solution to happiness, but in war we have purpose. So probably we'll have some wars because we need to have purpose, and killing people is pretty good purpose. Other than that, this idea the Democrats take on the thing of we're here for working families, like that's a virtue. That's no virtue. That's weakness. That's slavery. Working families. I came here and I became a slave, and I stood up against the lawless ones who are, the reason the cities get burnt down is because people just can't stand it anymore. And whether it's one side burning it down or it's Zelensky, at war with Putin leveling Kyiv, among other things, and Netanyahu leveling Gaza, and we just love to level stuff, and then we can rebuild and have purpose. Bridge on the River Kwai. So I don't have any hope in terms of people being happy. I guess Jesus would be my only hope because when I was really down and out to the point of dysfunctionality or non-functional, Jesus lifted me up, and he never told me to disavow my thoughts, these thoughts I've shared with you today. Trying to find a reason to believe. But that reason doesn't come. I go to Facebook, I go through the thing, I get depressed. I go through the reels and I go through TikTok, I get depressed. I go through threads, I get depressed. It's all depressing. It just makes you feel like shit all day long. It amplifies the shit you already feel like. So you're just piling more and more shit on. But, I suppose if you want to make a living, you could, well, I make no living off this. And people are, I guess the proof that I'm good at what I do is that I've been here for 23 years with hardly any following and hardly any numbers worth speaking about. And no matter how perfectly I state it, no matter how much I say it, whatever I say, people are very leery of people that can go radical like me, because I can go completely radical. I can go way more radical than the so-called radicals, which are not radical. They're conformed. They're good, dutiful slaves. Ha. So we need artists to show us the faults in our hypocrisy. No, we don't. Artists are hamstrung. They can't do anything. They can't show you the world. They can't show you the truth. That just brings more misery. So, I brought you the truth here every day, and it got me nowhere. It got me absolutely nowhere. And it's fine, because I'm called to do this by God, not by people. So the result doesn't matter. You could have one person listening, and that would even make it better. No people listening would be the bomb, the absolute zenith. That would prove your faith and loyalty, which is what the Bible is all about, loyalty. Okay, so let's switch into happiness is simply little distractions every day, throughout the day, that, little activities that make people happy. That's the totality of happiness. That's all it is. Little things to think about that make you happy. Distractions like movies and sports entertainment to go look at. Oh, gee, did you see that? Wow, what a wonderful piece of movie that is. What a piece of shit. What a wonderful contest that was in the basketball court. How awesome that is at the Olympics. Wow, that was really something. I'm so glad I saw that. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not happy. So happiness is not the game here. We come here to suffer. And relative happiness is possible through, I guess, earning, a fabulous amount of money or something. You can escape it for a while, but it still comes back. The idea that, you're going to die, you're getting older, you're becoming less relevant. People are going to shun you because it's all based on youth culture. And so that's eventually, they don't know they're going to get old. They don't know. So we do the best we can with with the hand we've been dealt. None of us have been dealt a good hand. If you can excel in this world, then you're really just bullshit. That's what I mean. If you got one trick and you can go pull it off, and they'll pay you a lot of money for it, that just makes you even more bullshit than normal. So you're just even more distraction, more bullshit, more fakery, and more aligned with evil. And well, you can't help it. I mean, that's just when they recruit you to align you with evil. So you can do your one trick. You can fool the public. You can fool yourself. You can be written up in gossip magazines that you're really happy on your fourth marriage or fifth marriage. And in reality, you're screaming out for help. But you can't, because no one has sympathy, because you're so rich. So therefore, we're back to square one again. It all sucks and everyone's miserable. Except when we're distracted. Crime. That makes us happy. Disasters where people die, now that makes us happy. Um, the assassination of Charlie Kirk makes some people really happy, just giddy with excitement, in the hopes that a civil war will come soon. There'll be open shooting in the streets, which, by the way, they won't like seeing their children with their heads blown off. But you can't tell them anything. You're just going to have to wait until they have to see that for themselves, and then it's the same old, same old. The Bolsheviks of 1917. These are the these are the Jacobins of 1790, right? 1794, the beheading of Robespierre in France. So it's and what's freedom? To go around the world looking for something to do to make you happy. Well, there is nothing like that, because you're going to die. What you're doing is you're running around the world looking for something that will distract you enough with a kind of faux happiness so that you don't have to think about death until it comes time. What are you laughing about? Okay, I'll drop this thread. You ready? What a friend we have in Jesus. Well, I'm not feeling very well.
I know, honey. I'm so sorry.
And I'm out here talking to you, and
Would you like a cup of tea?
I don't think they get my humor. I'm not going to be laying there depressed, even though now I've got this, this whole thing that what we need is ivermectin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's more important.
It is. I can't get it right this second.
Okay, well, that's that, to prevent me from doing more damage to my lungs that are already damaged. So I'm dying.
I think the echinacea is good.
I'm basically dying, and I realize, what makes me happy is I realize there's no path to happiness for me. There's distraction. You can make friends with people and go have lunch and things. I love doing that. But I just you get busy with trying to make movies and making them in Europe and running around showing them to people and being as subversive as you can, I suppose, which is the only decent cinema is subversive cinema, after all. Oh, that's going to inspire me to work harder in the gym. No, that's not the kind of cinema I like. Oh, no matter how good it is, it sucks. Yeah, that's correct. That may not be popular, but that's correct. I did see a good movie yesterday called Relay. A very tight movie by the director of Come Hell or High Water. So that, of a very impressive movie, okay? And that's one of Larry's favorites, Come Hell or High Water. So if you like that, you're going to love this. It's just really a tight. I didn't even know there were things like that. So I didn't know anything about the actual relay industry of espionage. Corporate espionage is what it is, and corporate crime, and really deals with a gal who ended up with stolen documents that prove that the vaccine or whatever it is, the shot, the medicine, it kills people, doesn't work, and they want it back. But what they're doing is they're hunting her, and the relay company is helping her to make a deal while they're after her, to try to make a deal with the company to give them back the documents and sign an NDA and take money, to keep her mouth shut. So it's what I liked is that I didn't know anything about how it works. And they had it all very tight, it was really, really very logical to me in a world like this. And just, there are double crosses, there are triple crosses. There are people that get involved in how important private lines are. There are no private lines. The other thing is, this is really chilling. There are no private lines. All your business is everyone's business. There is no privacy, and there hasn't been for some time. But they focus on, a document that can bring down a multi-billion-dollar drug, right? That shows a lot of sudden death. They didn't say COVID or, mRNA, none of that, but it was just the same concept. And it was just very poignant, very well done. The other movie I can recommend, since I'm the best recommender of movies there is She Rides Shotgun. She Rides Shotgun. And I'm not just saying that because they made it in Albuquerque, which I always like movies made around in New Mexico. But it's just a super deep sort of crime drama, involving corruption of the police in Albuquerque, which is famous in Albuquerque, their corruption. And deals with in vendettas. They call it a green light. They put a green light on you. That means you're targeted for the next assassination. So it's very apropos for now. Involves a little girl that the father is trying to protect. He's a criminal himself, just got out. And she is a revelation. She is, I predict she's, definitely a movie star in the making. I don't remember her name, so forgive me for that, but I'm sure her name will get around once the film gets out. It was a really serious, it was kind of made, it's a long movie. It was kind of made in the same style as movies I used to like back in the old days, high quality, no stone left unturned, everything very logical. And, they pulled it off. I mean, is it the best movie I've ever seen? May not be the best. The best doesn't have to be structured perfectly. It doesn't have to follow the rules. It just has something in it. So, but it's just really good, really pretty amazing between this guy that plays the father and the daughter during this time that, they're on the lam and she's having to grow up. One of my favorite lines in the movie is, she says, "Growing up sucks." And, she's just around people with guns and they gunned her mother down. She's just really in a bad straits, and the father is just trying to save her life. So it's got a really strong emotional bond there. And those two, if you see those two back to back, you will feel exhausted, but you'll feel like you saw two amazing films. And to a lesser extent, I watched a series called The Girlfriend, which was I don't know, could I call that a guilty pleasure, sort of naughty? It was kind of an entertainment, let's say. That goes with how far a mother will go to control her son from getting married to the girlfriend, and then plays on the idea that most mothers, no guy is acceptable for their precious daughter, right? So then amplify that times 100, and that's what you have here, played by Robin Wright, who does a tremendous job directing, and I believe it's her series. And there won't be a sequel to it because it ends completely at the end. So it's really almost like a movie of the week, like it used to be. But it's very great. I think it's 6 episodes, so I can recommend that one as well. Now, by the time if you watch those 3, you'll feel completely full, and at the same time you might be hungry. In which case you'll get a pizza, and maybe then watch the news, then feel like blowing your brains out, then go to bed, then hope that you can just sleep through the night without having to resort to taking drugs. And anyway, those two are kind of sorry I've seen them because I've just seen the best movies of the year. And, you know, a lot of those really good ones are going to be coming out. You know, at this time of the year is when they come out toward the end, you know, as we get September, October, November is when they release the ones that they feel are really good, like for Academy Award and Golden Globes. And I'm not sure this one will win. The girl might win something. She was so good in She Rides Shotgun. But anyway, those are my recommendations. I don't make many. Uh, my I like to focus more on film to do more reviews, more in-depth reviews on things like that. What I do recommend, I'm serious about, but I don't recommend many because there aren't many to recommend. I'll spend an hour or two scrolling through Netflix and Prime and Hulu and Paramount and Max and everything to find one movie. Sometimes I've just got to go back in time.
I like that goofy comedy about the assassin, Nobody Too. Even though it was,
Nobody too. With Bob Odenkirk,
it was
the lawyer from Breaking Bad.
super violent.
Yeah,
And
it was goofy violence though.
Yeah, but it showed the gigantic, you know, illegality of the cartels and
Yeah,
all the organized crime, but that it's really like, it's like something that could be taken care of, you know?
yeah. Well, no, I mean, a lot of these things could be taken care of, but the problem is you have the people with the money deciding that we need to have degrees, that we need to go through programs, that we need to be programmed. And so we spend all of our lives trying to heal from that, and we never do. So we fight depression the last 30 years of our lives. And most of us fail at that and experience the horror of depression until Jesus helps us get out of our own way and realize that the focus of all these grievances and redress, you know, requests belong on him. Lord, I cannot handle the world. Please help me find some purpose in it. And maybe he'll send you to the Peace Corps, working for a charity or something like that, helping disabled kids or, you know, trying to do something positive. Because if you keep looking for happiness, like it says in the Declaration of Independence, you know, we're free to look for our, you know, in the pursuit of happiness. It's not there. But in service to others, there can be, you know, relative happiness. For example, if you're, yeah, thank you, Trish. Come on.
I'm just flipping him Philippians 4:8.
You know, I realize I start off negative because I really have had a struggle with this. I mean, I got home, what was it, Monday, and I've been struggling with it. Now it's Saturday, and here I am, you know, completely struggling with this. You know, what's turned into a major cold and flu and lungs. But yeah, you know, most people didn't get it. Trish didn't get it. No one I was there with got it. I got it because I guess my immune system is you know, compromised. And that's another thing that makes me angry. How do people, where do they get the gall to tell me I should be happy? Where do they get the fucking gall to say something so insulting? You know, if it's available, I mean, look, I was happy watching my films that I found. Since I was a little kid, that's been about the one thing I love about in the arts about film is that it's a medium that takes all the mediums and puts it into one thing for us to see. And you know, it's either theater or cinema, whatever, either one really makes me think about stuff. And when I'm thinking about stuff, I'm a happy guy. When I'm just sitting there watching people laughing about Charlie Kirk, I'm not a happy guy. I'm not just, that's fine, I forgive you. I'm more like, you know what? you're going to have your day of reckoning, you people, and you're not going to like it. I don't know what form it'll take, whether it be God striking you or whatever, but I mean, people that behave that way, laugh at death, think it's funny. Pride goeth before a fall. So they're having a big memorial for Charlie, and he's become a martyr. First American martyr we've had in I don't know how long, but a martyr that everybody knows. And no one will forget the heinous evil of the laugher, the people who laughed at his blood gushing out of his throat. I find that to be just absolutely so disgusting that I could almost pledge my life just to hunting those people down one at a time. But the Lord has me, on other things. Like I say, happiness doesn't come from, the pursuit of something for yourself. It's really, for me, it's always been, in concert with other people, collaborations, serving others, doing something that is not hard to do. You know what I mean? Just to, to be engaged in that way and to be helpful if you can. Being helpful to others does bring happiness.
Yeah,
A sense of
we're not guaranteed the happiness, but we have the right to pursue it.
Mm-hmm. Well, please pray for me because I need to heal. And I'm sure my outlook will change. A lot of my negativity is just humor, but a lot of you don't get my humor. So,
Like a little chicken broth, honey?
Yeah. Trish has made chicken noodle soup, which has been a godsend. So that makes me happy. And those movies I mentioned to you make me happy to see that kind of rigor going on. And, just that kind of storytelling is still available, really tight, really, people, you could tell they're very absorbed in it, right? They're very absorbed on every little detail. And, that can also get you. Okay, so what I've kind of come up with is that, escape causes happiness inadvertently, assuredly. So inadvertently, to be sure. But I'll take it. Escape, absorption produces much happiness. Not real happiness, but a kind of absorption, a kind of being immersed in something can be very thrilling and, get you not to think about how lonely you are, how miserable you are, or like what happens to me is I think about humanity and then I just get, I just think
Everything is so crazy right now. It's just insane.
it's insane.
I like to put a little cayenne pepper in it, buddy.
I'm not going to put any cayenne in there.
Well, it's good.
I know it's
Helps
good.
open up your.
It opens up the ventricles too for the heart. And with that, I bid you shalom. Thank you. And Zeph Daniel for the Zeph Report. Maybe just look at this one for amusement. And if I can amuse you and you can smile for a second, or maybe just go watch those movies. And if that makes you happy, then it's win-win. Okay, so I will see you next time. Holy Spirit, where are you?
the big machine.